I am tired of the way I talk about my body. And I'm tired of the way I think about my body. I'm tired of the way I judge and look at my body. It was only in the last few months that I've really been examining, how am I approaching my body? What is my relationship with my body? And I realized that in my entire lifetime, I haven't had an original thought about her, ever. Society tends to tell us all the problems that we have with our bodies and try to sell us a solution. The cellulite and arm fat and belly fat and all this and this and this, and the fact that your nose is crooked and you need a boob job and you need this lifted and this tightened up. But no one really tells us how awesome we are. No one really says, hey, your body is cool. It does all these awesome things and it carries you through life, and wow, isn't that amazing? There's not a whole lot of people out there, or rather they're really hard to find, they're not the norm, who tell you these things. I've really been monitoring my thoughts, and I've been really checking myself in the ways, how do I talk to my body? How do I speak to her? How do I perceive her? And why? Is the way I perceive my body a true manifestation of my thoughts and my beliefs? Or are they a manifestation of everything that society has told me to think about my body? I'm so used to just staring at myself in the mirror and going, what the hell is that? Or comparing myself to that girl at the gym or wherever, or just looking at myself and thinking, what is this freak? How can I belong? In the last couple months, the approach that I've really embraced is identifying my body as something that I have a relationship with. I want you to think about, if your body was another person and you were in a relationship with them, whether it's a friendship or a romantic, intimate relationship, would the way you're talking about your body, would the way you're talking to your body constitute verbal or emotional abuse? I realize that's kind of a whoa kind of statement, but think about it. What are the things that you're saying? Are you saying things like, you're not enough? I'll only love you when? What? Would you talk to somebody you love that way? Would you want to be spoken to that way by somebody who loves you? Would you talk to your parent that way, or a loved one, or a child? Would you speak to them the way you speak to your body? And it blows my mind that I've spent, frankly, but that we spend so much time agonizing over the things that are wrong and criticizing our bodies and judging them and just hating and having this just negative energy towards our body, when it's literally, our body is literally the only thing that is with us from birth to death. No other relationship is with us for that long. The one relationship that is true throughout our entire lives is that with our body, with our souls, with our mind, but with our body. And we destroy them. We treat them like nobody should be treated. Things that constitute verbal and emotional abuse in my book, manipulation, saying, oh, I'll only love you with, poking and prodding and judging and saying you're not enough, you're not worthy, you don't look like this other person, you don't belong, you don't fit in. God, what if somebody said that to your face and you're in a relationship with them? Do you say this stuff? I said this stuff. I still sometimes say this stuff to my body. And that makes me really, really sad that we treat ourselves in this way. And we spend so much time agonizing over these things that we think are wrong about ourselves, these things that aren't good enough. We spend so much time trying to perfect something that really doesn't, it's fine. Wouldn't it be so much more freeing to live in a life where you go, damn body, you're awesome. Sorry to sound like a hippie, but doesn't that sound like a much nicer life than constantly criticizing yourself, getting caught up in your own reflection? I don't know. That's my personal take. I decided that I am done with pointing out all the things that are flawed or imperfect about my body. I'm done listening to society's way of telling me, trim this, Photoshop that, edit this, reduce this, disappear into space, take up less space in your seat. I'm done with that. Instead, what I've been doing in the last couple months is appreciating what my body does and who she is and what everything she gives me and everything she allows me to do. So for today's video, I wanted to do something a bit different. I wanted to point out all the things that I love about my body, and maybe that'll help you think about a different approach to speaking with your body and a different way that you should be treating and appreciating your body rather than trying to forever change it and manipulate it and say that it's not enough. So without further ado, here are all the things I love about my body. These are things that I love about my body, things that my body can do that I just appreciate the hell out of. Most things I love about my body. There are certainly things that I'm kind of like alright with, that I'm just starting to accept. So this is kind of a video of all of those things. I love that I have calluses. My hands aren't soft like most girls, and my manicurist will tell you, like, will freak out when she touches my hands, but I love my calluses. They show how hard I've worked. I love my crooked smile. In the past, I used to try to change that because one side goes up more than the other one. In the past, I've tried to change that for photos, but screw it, it's part of what makes me human. I love my eyes, even though I'm always jealous of people who have blue or hazel or gray eyes. I love that my eyes are brown. I love the way my face looks with makeup. I love the way my face looks without makeup. I love the fact that I'm strong. My body is so strong. You might not be able to tell always because I'm not as lean as I used to be. But I love that she is so strong and she moves me through life and she can do all these crazy amazing things, like go ziplining. We went to this treetop obstacle course where you basically climb these different obstacles and ropes and all crazy things to get across from like the tops of trees. My body could do that. It was amazing. She is so strong. She can do hot yoga, she can stretch, she can dance, she can do all these hiking, amazing things through life, and that I'm so grateful for, that I have a body and that she can move and she is strong enough to support me in this world. I love the way my shoulders and biceps look when I'm wearing a tank top, even though you can't see my shoulders now. I love the way my lats look when I wear a racer back. I love dressing my body up and sticking her in random places on earth and taking photos of her, and I love the way that she is part of the picture and she's part of the art when I take photos of her. I love the feeling of my biceps contracting when I do bicep curls. I love the way that my muscles contract and expand and contract when I work out. I am appreciating and now starting to love my boobs, even though they're not huge, even though they look a little awkward because they sit on top of pecs and that kind of looks like a funny bump if I wear the wrong bra. I love the fact that I can go to the gym and look strong and tough and muscular and just really intense one moment, and then an hour later get into a little black dress, throw my hair up, and look flirty, feminine, sexy, and beautiful. I am beginning to be more okay with the creases and curves and folds that I have around my body, even though for a long time I criticized them and said these things are not part of me, they're fat rolls or they're muffin top, even though I spoke about my body in such ways. I'm beginning to look at my body as something that has folds and curves and creases rather than cellulite and fat and extra fat or muffin top or back fat. I'm beginning to be less uncomfortable with the fact that I have a tummy and I have tummy fat, and this is what I look like when I don't suck it in, and I have a little bit extra around my hips and it sticks out a little bit, and I do have a little bit of fluff. Maybe I don't love it, but I am certainly starting to become less uncomfortable with it. I am okay with the fact that I have cellulite. I'm okay with the fact that I have a little bit jiggling here when I pick up my arm. These are just parts of my body and I'm okay with them. I don't need to love them, but I'm also better off not hating them. I love the fact that my body has long legs and a short torso. Even though for a very long time I was like, oh god, my legs are so long and her torso is so constricted and the fat piles up everywhere. I love the way my body looks in heels. I love my body's butt. I love my body's strong quads. I love that my body feels sexy and turned on. Even though society tells me that it's not okay to feel these things and I shouldn't feel these things and I should feel guilty over these things, I love that she feels turned on and all the fun things that come with that. And I'm not ashamed of the fact that she feels sexy. I love how after I train or exercise in a new way, my body feels sore in a new muscle the next day, and I get to find this other layer, this other component to her that I've never felt before. I love how my body feels when I'm right under the bench press and I'm getting ready to set up for my bench and my entire body is engaged and ready to support me in the exercise. I love the fact that my body cannot sit still. I love that my knees start to ache and that my hips start to get really sore, when I sit for too long in my office, because my body knows evolutionarily I'm not meant to sit for so long. I'm meant to jump and run and play and be active. And I love the fact that she won't let me sit through an hour-long meeting without feeling like she needs to get up. I love the way she feels when I meditate. Just being able to close my eyes and feel my head and feel my shoulders and feel my back and sink my body into the ground and just be with my entire body, feel the length of her, and just be in the moment. I love the feeling of exhaustion. After she lets me work so hard in hot yoga and exercise, whatever I'm doing, I love the feeling of blood pumping through my veins. I love how she makes my heart race and make me just feel exhausted, and helps me breathe by expanding and contracting my lungs faster. I love the way she feels when I lie in Savasana or I lie down after a really, intense, satisfying workout, and just feel my body exist and take in all this air and just replenish itself. So this is probably a trigger warning if you've had any sort of eating disorder. I don't throw up easily. My body doesn't really know how to throw up. In the last 13 years, I recall throwing up 2 times. Once in 6th grade when I had a really, really, really bad stomach flu, and once in freshman year of college when I brought a water bottle full of vodka to a party and basically drank it all and had alcohol poisoning and passed out, and somebody had to call 911. Those are the 2 times in the last 13 years, so in the majority of my life, that I remember throwing up. It seems like a weird thing to be grateful for. Sometimes when I'm really, really sick or I just feel so nauseous, and I feel like it would be so much better to just get whatever is killing my stomach out of my system, and it would feel so much better if I could. In freshman year of college, which was kind of the beginning of the climax of my body image issues and kind of my obsession with fitness, I had gone on a date with my then boyfriend, and we came home to his place. I think we had clam chowder or something. I was so ashamed and so terrified of what I had eaten, and I think it was like clam chowder. I don't even remember what it was. I was so ashamed that I had eaten so many calories. I was so mortified of what it would do to my body. I was so just scared and angry and upset, just bawling and crying and sobbing uncontrollably, and I actually went to his bathroom and tried for about 20 or 30 minutes to make myself throw up. And I didn't hide it from him. I even told him, like, I need to get this out of me. I can't have all these calories in me. I just felt like a terrible person because I had eaten. And at one point I was like asking him for help. I was like, well, what do you, like, how do I get back far enough? Like, what do I do? Like, look something up on Google something, help me out here. And I tried and just could not make myself throw up. And the reason I'm thankful that I couldn't was I feel like if my body didn't just naturally not know how to throw up, if I didn't have this weird thing about myself, I strongly believe that night, if I had learned and known how to throw up and my body had cooperated, I feel that would have been the beginning of a very long struggle with bulimia. And I know a lot of people who have struggled with bulimia specifically, and I cannot imagine everything that they've gone through. And I don't mean to minimize anything that anybody has ever gone through, but I really believe that night could have been the start of bulimia for me if it hadn't been for that. I love that my body is stronger than I always expected. I love that she can always go a little bit further in hot yoga than I thought she could. I love that she can lift more than I thought she could. I love that she can hike for longer, or bike for longer, or walk for longer, or stay up for longer, or have more fun and play for longer than I think she could, because she's stronger than I expect her to be. I love the fact that after I stopped dancing for about 3 years, the first time I was back at a dance studio, even though I was terrified and felt so awkward there, she was just able to pick up and get back in the rhythm and just get back into her own style and her own groove right away. I love the way my body feels when I dance. It's just incredible. I love the way I can express for myself. I love how she can move and be part of music. I love the way she feels when I stretch, whether I'm doing yoga or I'm just stretching in my office. I love feeling skin to bones, you know, just stretching all the way and feeling long, and it just feels amazing to me. I love that a year ago, when I stopped counting macros, when I stopped counting calories, when I stopped looking at the back of labels or tracking anything, she was still somehow able to nourish herself and feed herself and survive and thrive and be part of the world and show up, even though I wasn't necessarily controlling that for her. I love the way she feels the world. I love the way she feels touch when I hug. I love the way she feels warmth. I love the fact that she's the vessel I have to explore the world, to impact the world, to touch the world and interact with the world. And finally, I love the way that she reacts to the world in a way that makes me feel alive. It's incredible to me that when I see something amazing, when I hear incredible music, when I think about something really inspiring, when I hear a really powerful motivational speech, my body physiologically responds to my emotions. My body gets goosebumps. My body feels adrenaline. My body is filled with warmth when I'm happy. It physically responds to awe and inspiration, and it physically manifests the emotion and inspiration and wonder that I feel about the world. And she is the way that I interact with the world, and I am forever grateful for everything that she's done, every way she's been here for me, even though I have treated her so poorly throughout the majority of my life. I am committed to thinking that she is worthy, and instead of thinking about all the ways she's different, or all the things that could improve, or all the ways that she could change, I'm instead going to be thinking about what I love about her, what I appreciate about her, and how amazing and grateful I should feel, and I do feel, for having her to take me through life. So I told you guys I'm done with food and fitness. This was something that was a bit more about body positivity. I would love to hear, if this made you think about anything, please share one thing, or two things, or three things, or however many things you love about your body, or you appreciate about your body, or even things that you're starting to accept, or be okay with, or be less uncomfortable with, down in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for sticking around, and I'll talk to you later.